Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to our last discussion on this short story. So far, we have gone through different types of questions from this short story from the south of America. Here we will discuss the last of our remaining points. Some of the critical content we find interesting from examination point of view only. This is not a literary discussion. It is limited to examination point of view. You will find some material to help you out in attempting your examination questions asked therein your final. So let's have a start, a go on to our today's discussion. Dear students, there are varying opinions of critics about this short story, A Good Man is Hard to Find. Some of the critics take it as a story of violence and horror, murder, killing, crimes only. Some of the critics take it as a philosophical type of presentation of life in America. Some of the critics also take it as a religious didactic story. Then some of the critics also take this story as a human predicament and this very horrible scenario of the land of opportunity, that is America. तो बेटे इसको मुख्तलिफ नुक्ता है नज़र के साथ मुख्तलिफ क्रिटिक्स जो हैं इस कहानी को इंटरप्रेट करते हैं। ताहम हमें चूँकि इम्तहानी नुक्ता नज़र से इसको देखना है तो हमें इसका मजमूई लिहाज से इसके जो मेन पॉइंट्स हैं हमें सिर्फ अपने आप को उन्हीं पॉइंट्स तक जो है वो महदूद रखना है और ना इसमें डिस्कशन के लिए जो है डिबेट के लिए बहुत कुछ है। थियोलॉजी, रिलीजियस थियोलॉजी जो है इज़ देयर, रिलीजियस कंटेंट इज़ श्योरली देयर, बल्कि आप यूँ कह सकते हैं कि ये इसके जो मेन थीम्स हैं उनमें टॉप प्रायोरिटी जो है वो राइटर की, वो कॉर्नर की जो है वो रिलीजियस प्रोपागेशन है और उसका एक अपना अंदाज़ है अपने कैथोलिक व्यू पॉइंट को प्रोपोगेट करने का। ताहम ये शॉक टेक्निक जो अपनाई गई है कि एक वायलेंट क्राइम स्टोरी जो है हमारे सामने रखी गई है विद ब्लड शेड इन इट एंड द ट्रेजिक इंसिडेंट ऑफ किलिंग अ फैमिली फॉर नथिंग बाय अ क्रिमिनल। ये जो मंजर कशी है और होल सीन जो है कहानी का हॉरिफाइंग है, श्योरली डिस्गस्टिंग भी है कि इतनी लाकानूनियत जो है वो दिखाई गई है कि एक क्रिमिनल जो है वो एक छोटी सी गलती की वजह से एक ग्रैंड मदर की जो है बाकी मासूम लोगों का जो है वो कत्ल इस तरह से बेरहमी से कर देता है और नथिंग हैपन्स एक्सेप्ट द फिलोसॉफिकल dialogue with the grandmother. Okay, let's have a go at some of the points we must take into consideration while thinking about this story from different perspectives. There are varying opinions about A Good Man is Hard to Find. Most of this discrepancy centers on the grandmother's act of touching the misfit in the last scene of the story, where she is trying to call him one of my own children. The dominant opinion of the story is that the grandmother's final act was one of grace and charity, which implies that A Good Man is Hard to Find was written to show a transformation in the grandmother as the story progresses. ये जो ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन फ्रॉम ईवल टू गुड है ये रिवर्सल ऑफ सिचुएशन की शक्ल में जो है वो पेश की गई है। गुड को बैड बनाकर पेश किया गया है और बैड को गुड बनाकर पेश किया गया है। शी ओरिजिनली, ये अपरेंट है, ये कोई ऐसा मुश्किल पॉइंट नहीं है। वो किरदार जो कहानी में गुड नज़र आते हैं वो बैड साबित होते हैं, आखिरी जो रेविलेशन है या ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन है, और जो बैड हैं उन्हें गुड बनाकर, जैसे क्रिमिनल जो है वो मिसफिट हमारा, उसे जो है अपरेंटली फ्रॉम द पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑफ सोसाइटी ही इज़ अ क्रिमिनल convict, but he has been presented as good, as he has got a consistent philosophy of life. That is what makes this story a gloomy description of the events. She originally perceives herself as a righteous woman, the lady, making her able to justify all of her actions. She bribes the granddaughter and encourages the defiance of the children against the father. ये भी याद रखें, वो बच्चों की बदतमीज़ी जो है ना, वो असल में इट स्पर्स आउट ऑफ द इंस्टिगेशन ऑफ दिस लेडी. तो in the end she even begins to deny the miracles of Jesus, as she states. Maybe he did not raise the dead. तो डाउट भी है इसको, अपनी वो जो प्रोपोगेशन करती है उस पर शक का इजहार भी करती है कि शायद जेजस के पास ये गॉड गिफ्टेड सलाहियत ना थी मुर्दों को ज़िंदा कर देने की. रिगार्डलेस ऑफ दिस, शी स्टिल इज़ ट्राइंग टू शेयर द मैसेज ऑफ द गॉस्पेल विद द मिसफिट. द रीडर सीज हाउ she, in the final moments of her life, tries to save one more soul after the misfit has already killed her family by calling out the misfit's name. तो बेटे इसकी जो आउटवर्ड राइचियसनेस है, इट प्रूव्स टू बी hollow, it proves to be fake. She is just a fake. She is neither a lady nor a religious follower at all. She is just a fake. And this transformation from evil to good makes the story interesting as readers for us. Dear students, another opinion on the issue is the grandmother's final act was not an act of charity or grace, and that she is yet again trying to save herself from being murdered, and it is a selfish act, rather, you may say. Some say that Flannery O'Connor uses the excuse as the grandmother's final moment of grace to save the story from the bloodshed and violence. Frederick Azales argues that one can easily pass over her, O'Connor's hope, that the grandmother's final gestures to the misfit might have begun a process which would turn him into the prophet he was meant to become. तो वो अच्छा इंसान बनने की उसमें सलाहियतें थी, लेकिन बन न सका, हालात ने उसे जो मजबूर कर दिया. तो he can just turn back from evil to good again in the end. This is the message that is being delivered to us, that even a criminal can come back to salvation and refuge of God, that God offers in grace. It is also pointed out by some critics that by the time the grandmother touches the misfit, proclaiming he is her son, he is wearing indeed Bailey's shirt, who has been murdered by his compatriots in the woods. Other opinions include that it is contrary of her character, or that she was simply again trying to save herself selfishly, and that her selfishness was never overcome throughout the story. Alex Link considers how, until the family encounters the misfit, the South is mainly something to ignore, forget, package in a movie or a monument, or remember with distorted nostalgia, such that the misfit comes to stand for the persistence of what cannot be bought, sold, or wholly understood, such a death, grace, and the South itself. So this is also and other opinion about this final act of grace in the story. Dear students, quite interestingly, we may note that there are comparisons and contrasts between good and evil. O'Connor utilized the dark and morose aspects of life in her writing to reveal beauty and grace in life. In the story, violence reveals divine grace. Divine grace or God's unmerited favor is a concept fundamental to man's salvation in Christian theology. Christians believe the imperfect can be reborn spiritually. People can be saved by grace through Jesus Christ. While the two seem to be different, the grandmother and the misfit both are the same at their core, sinners in need of grace and salvation and redeemed from Allah. Abby Harris says in her short article, the misfit is blatantly sinful and enraged at the concept of God's grace, and the grandma masks her sinfulness with respectability and chooses to treat God as something that she can accept or ignore depending on her situation. This is an important critical view about this concept of God's grace. Then we may see while reading this story that the sins the grandmother commits throughout the story depict her as a severely flawed individual who is surely herself in need of salvation, grace. Only at her death does she realize her faults, comes to know, comes to realize the defects of her personality. After the misfit shoots her, the misfit claims she would have been a good woman if it had been somebody there to shoot her every minute of her life. That is but it relates the true story of her shortcomings. O'Connor includes this line because she is not trying to convey the message that if someone has a traumatic experience, his life will be changed. She instead conveys a message of the sinful nature of humans. Dear students, we see while going through this story that the grandmother is a liar. She is a hoodwinker. The grandmother tries to convince her son, Billy, and his wife to take the family to East Tennessee for vacation instead of Florida. She points out an article about the misfit, an escaped convict heading toward Florida, and adds that the children have already been there. John Wesley, 8 years old, suggests that the grandmother stay home, and his sister, June Starr, says nastily that his grandmother will never do that. Looking at our acts, um, we feel that she is altogether a fake personality. On the day of the trip, the grandmother hides her cat, Pitty Singh, in a blanket in the car. She wears the dress and hat with flowers on it so that the people will know she is a lady. If there is an accident on the way to their destination. In the car, John Wesley says he doesn't like Georgia, and the grandmother chastises him for not respecting his home state. When they pass a cotton field, she says there are graves in the middle of it that belong to the plantation and jokes that the plantation has gone with the wind. Later she tells this is important phrase, gone with the wind. मतलब वो भूल गई अब इसके बारे में. Later she tells a story about an old suitor of her own, Edgar Atkins Tea Garden. नाम पर तवज्जो रखिएगा, ये इसका सूटर था कोई. When she was young, Edgar brought her a watermelon every week. देखें इसकी खुसूसियत क्या है. वो एक वाटरमेलन इसके लिए लेकर आया करता था हर डेट पर. into which he carved his initials, और उस पर वो अपने वो वाटरमेलन पर जो थे वो अपना नाम लिख दिया करता था EAT बड़े हरूफ के साथ, चूँकि एडगर एटकन टी गार्डन Once he left it on the porch, and a black child ate it because he thought it said eat. ये ज़रा थोड़ा यहाँ थोड़ा सा इसको वायोलेंस को कम करने के लिए एक छोटा सा वो मजाक अपने बच्चों को सुनाती है, ग्रैंड चिल्ड्रन को। तो एक काला बच्चा है उधर से गुजर रहा था, तो पोर्च में देखा उसने एक दीवाना पड़ा हुआ था, तो उसने उसको उस पर EAT लिखा था, तो उसने कहा शायद ये लिखा हुआ है कि इसको खा लिया जाए, तो उसने उसको खा लिया। तो इसका गिफ्ट जो था इन हर यूथ, व्हाट अ स्ट्रेंज टाइप ऑफ गिफ्ट इट वाज। ये लगता है कि ये कहानी भी इसने पहले झूठ की तरह से जो है वो जितने ये झूठ बोलती है, शी हैज़ जस्ट कंकॉक्टेड इट। Then the family stops at a restaurant for a rest called The Tower, owned by Red Sammy Butts. Red Sammy complains that the people are untrustworthy in the modern age, explaining that he recently let two men buy gasoline on credit. The grandmother tells him that he is a good man for doing it. Red Sammy's uh, wife says she doesn't trust anyone, including Red Sammy himself. The grandmother asks her if he has heard about the misfit, and the woman worries that he will rob them. Red Sammy says a good man is hard to find in these days. He and the grandmother lament the state of the world at present. Both share the same opinion that it is very hard nowadays to find a good man. Then, back in the car, restarting their detour, the grandmother wakes from a nap and realizes that a plantation she once visited is nearby. Says that the house had 6 white columns and was at the end of an oak tree lined driveway. She lies that the house had a secret panel to make the house seem more interesting and mysterious for the children. Excited, the children beg to go to the house until Billy angrily gives succumbs to their suggestion, and they force him to go onto a side road. The grandmother points him to a dirt road, and this is also misleading. She is lying again, the big liar of the family. The misfortune, the final tragedy starts when the family drives deep into the woods and the dirty road. The grandmother suddenly remembers that the house was in Tennessee, not in Georgia. Horrified at her mistake, she jerks her feet. Patty Singh escapes from the basket and startles Billy, who wrecks the car, and the children's mother breaks her shoulder, but no one else is hurt after this accident. The grandmother decides not to tell Billy about her mistake. She is not ready to confess, although she believes in confession, Christian confession, religiously. But this time she is not ready to confess her mistake. We see throughout the story that the grandmother commits mistakes, errors, one by one, leading the family from bad to worse. A passing car stops when they are waiting for help on the road, and 3 men get out carrying guns. The grandmother thinks she recognizes one of them. One of the men, wearing glasses and no shirt at all, descends into the ditch where they are. He tells the children's mother to make the children sit down because they make him nervous. The grandmother suddenly screams because she realizes that he is the misfit about whom she had read in the article of the newspaper. The man says it is not good that she recognized him. Billy curses violently, upsetting the grandmother. The grandmother asks the misfit whether he would shoot a lady, and the misfit says he would not like to do, but the grandmother claims that she can tell he is a good man and that he comes from nice people. The misfit agrees and praises his parents. And the grandmother continues telling him he is a good man. The misfit tells the other 2 men, Harim and Bobby Lee, to take Billy and John Wesley into the woods and kill them. The grandmother adjusts her hat, but The brim breaks off. The misfit says he knows he isn't good, but that he isn't the worst man either. He apologizes to the grandmother and the children's mother for not wearing a shirt and says that he and the other men had to bury their clothes after they escaped from the prison. He says they borrowed the clothes they are wearing from some people they met on their way to this spot. The selfish grandmother, is not very much disturbed on the death of his son and grandson at the hands of that misfit and his followers, compatriots, comrades, but uh, she continues to engage him in a very absurd type of conversation, leading to the total annihilation of the family at the end. The grandmother asks the misfit whether he ever prays. Just as he says no, she hears two gunshots from the woods where they had taken Billy and the grandson. The misfit says he used to be a gospel singer, and the grandmother chants, "Pray, pray, pray." He says he wasn't a bad child, but that at one point he went to prison for a crime he can't remember committing. He says a psychiatrist told him he had killed his father. देखिए ये क्राइम भी कैसा है, इसने क्रूअल किस्म का किया है, अपने बाप के कत्ल के इल्ज़ाम में अंदर गया. The grandmother tells the misfit to pray so that Jesus will help him. The misfit says he is fine on his own. He needs no religious help or the help of Jesus Christ even. Bobby Lee and Hiram come back from the woods, and Bobby Lee gives the misfit the shirt Billy had been wearing. But the grandmother doesn't realize it is Billy's. The misfit tells the children's mother to take the baby and Joan Star and go with Bobby Lee and Hiram into the woods now. It is time for their death. Bobby Lee tries to hold Joan Star's hand, but she says he looks like a pig. तो ये अब दूसरी खेप में वो इसके इसकी नूह को और इसके ग्रैंड चाइल्ड को, बेबी को ले जाते हैं वुड्स की तरफ. बट अगेन द ग्रैंड मदर हु इज़ पोजिंग टू बी द हेड ऑफ द फैमिली, नाउ इंस्टेड ऑफ बेली हु हैज़ जस्ट गॉन, she is not moved at all at this horrible scenario that is going on around her. The grandmother starts chanting Jesus, Jesus. The misfit says he is like Jesus himself, except Jesus had not committed a crime. He says he gave himself this name because his punishment does not seem to fit the crime people said he committed. तो उसने नहीं कत्ल किया था, ये डिनाई करता है कि मैंने अपने बाप को नहीं मारा था. A gunshot comes from the woods. The grandmother begs the misfit not to shoot a lady. अब इसे पता लग गया है कि सारा खानदान तो मार दिया है इन्होंने, अब आखिर में मैं बच गई हूँ. तो अब ये उनके सामने हाथ जोड़ती है, गिड़गिड़ाती है. Two more gunshots come from the woods and the grandmother cries out for Billy. At this juncture of the story, there ensues a conversation, rather a very awkward type of conversation between the misfit and the grandmother. Both of them try to exploit the religious content of theology. The misfit says that Jesus confused everything by raising the dead. This is inappropriate for a man. You can't tolerate, even as readers, such a disrespectful attitude towards a prophet of God by a character. He says that if what Jesus did is true, then everyone must follow him. But if he didn't actually raise the dead, then all anyone can do is enjoy their time on earth by indulging in meanness. The grandmother agrees that perhaps Jesus didn't raise the dead. What type of deviation this is? This is very, very disrespectful. They are talking about religion very, very frankly. It is said that this type of attitude is blasphemy. Indeed, this is blasphemous on the part of these characters, and rather I would say that it is on the part of the writer himself, herself, that it is blasphemous. Even you have read about this God gifted quality of the Prophet Jesus. ये आपने सूरह मरियम का मुताला किया हुआ है, यकीनन अब आप मैच्योर लोग हैं, तो ये जो गुफ्तगू है ना इनके दरमियान, ये बड़ी डिस्गस्टिंग है। मेरा तो जी नहीं चाह रहा कि इसमें से कोई एक जुमला भी पढ़ूं, क्योंकि हमारे ईमान का हिस्सा भी है ये। वी बिलीव इन द प्रॉफिट्स, होली प्रॉफिट्स सेंट बाय गॉड टू द वर्ल्ड फॉर गाइडेंस। और अल्लाह तबारक व तआला ने मुख्तलिफ़ मौक़ा पर अपने मुख्तलिफ़ अंबिया कराम अलैहिस्सलाम को मुख्तलिफ़ किस्म के जो थे खुसूसियात से नवाजा, जो यकीनन उस एज ए क्रिएटर उसकी अपनी ज़ात का हिस्सा थी। जैसे ये मुर्दों को ज़िंदा कर देना, मुजज़ा जिसे आप कहते हैं, मिरेकल्स, टू इम्प्रेस अपॉन द पीपल द डिविनिटी ऑफ अल्लाह। पर्पज़ और कोई नहीं था, ये नहीं था कि ये कोई शख्सी खूबी दी गई किसी को, नो, इट वाज अ डिवाइन क्वालिटी गिफ्टेड बाय गॉड टू इम्प्रेस अपॉन द पीपल दैट देयर इज़ अ डिवाइन फोर्स आफ्टर ऑल in the world that is running the whole works of this universe at large। तो बेटे ये इस तरह से बड़ा, ये जो है ना, इसकी आखिरी जो डिस्कशन है इस शॉर्ट स्टोरी की, ये जो 2-3 पैराग्राफ एंड वाले हैं, दे आर क्वाइट डिस्गस्टिंग, ब्लास्फेमियस रादर। तो बहरहाल मजबूरन हमें ये पढ़ने पड़ते हैं, अदरवाइज दिस डिसरिस्पेक्टफुल एटीट्यूड ऑन by both these characters, the grandmother and the criminal misfit, are very, very disgusting to read about। ताकि पढ़ने भी नहीं चाहिए ऐसे, तो ये कोई नज़रियात ही नहीं है मेरे ख्याल में। तो द ग्रैंड मदर एग्रीज दैट परहैप्स जीसस डिडंट रेज द डेड। ये कोई तरीका नहीं है बेटे प्रोपोगेशन करने का। असल जो नुक्ता है, अगर आपने दीन का प्रचार करना है ना, तो ये मनफी तरीके से क्यों करते हैं? वाई डू यू डू दैट? डू इट straightforwardly. Tell the people that there is a God who is all embracing, all kind, all affectionate। तो अब ये क्या तरीका है कि आप उसको, एक नबी को जो है वो नौज़ बिल्ला जो है वो आप मतऊन करना शुरू कर दें। ये एक तरह से उन्होंने एक नबी को जो है वो मतऊन करना शुरू किया हुआ है। The misfit says he wishes he had been there too, so he could know for sure। तो डाउट कर रहे हैं, और शक ईमान के लिए जहर कातिल है। तो देखे ना, वी बिलीव इन अ गॉड हुम वी हैव नॉट सीन। तो ये सी करना चाहता है फॉर श्योरिटी। तो हम तो भाई सारे अहले ईमान जो हैं, जो अलहामी कुतुब पर यकीन रखने वाले अदियान हैं, वो तो एक अनसीन गॉड पर बिलीव करते हैं। The grandmother calls the misfit one of my own children, and the misfit shoots her in the chest 3 times. Bobby Lee and Hiram return, and they all look at the grandmother. The misfit observes that the grandmother could have been a good woman if someone had been around to shoot her every minute of her life. The misfit says life is a very strange thing, has no true player in it. Dear students, now we come on to conclude our today's discussion, a brief discussion on the point of grace, God's grace, and the propagation O'Connor presents in shape of a crime story, a violent story. We as readers are disgusted the way she propagates the ways of God to men in a negative way. This is not a good type of way to convince people that God's grace will ensure their salvation at the end. This type of transformation can be presented positively But unfortunately, she took upon the path of violence, crime, murder, killings to give it a coloring that even the criminals can come back to Allah at last. A good man, hard to find. The grandmother and misfit live by moral codes in this story as painted by the writer that affect their decisions, actions, and perceptions and philosophies of life. A moral code is a set of beliefs and behaviors that people abide by to live what they consider to be reasonable, fulfilling their lives. The term moral does not necessarily mean good, according to this very story. It is simply a code of conduct, while the righteousness of a person's morals is entirely a subjective thing. Although at first glance the misfit's code seems to be misguided, derided, and derated, it is actually the grandmother's code that proves to be flimsy and inconsistent at the end of the story. The grandmother has built her moral code on the characteristics that she believes make people good outwardly, hollow, servile qualities, uh, snobbish qualities of life she has adopted herself. She places great stock in being a lady, for example, which emphasizes appearance over reality. At the same time, she repeatedly deceives her family and lacks even a rudimentary awareness of the world around her. Despite her professed love for Christian piety, she herself is unable to pray when she finds herself in a crisis and even begins to question the power and divinity of Jesus Christ. This is how hollow she is as a person throughout her life. Dear students, it is pertinent to note that the misfit, however, adheres to a moral code, whatever it is, although it is criminal, that remains consistent and strong. He never deviates from killing the people, the violence he has entered into. From his experience as a convicted criminal, he believes that the punishment is always disproportionate to the crime. जुर्मों के मुताबिक सज़ा नहीं होती है. And that the crime in the end does not even really matter. He also harbors a genuine bafflement about religion. He is not a believer in religion at all, whereas the grandmother accepts faith unquestioningly and weakly. The misfit challenges religious beliefs and thinks deeply about how he should follow them or not follow them at all. He has chosen to live under the assumption that religion is pointless and adheres to his own kind of religion. No pleasure but meanness found in life. His moral code is violent and never wavers, and in the end, he is the one that triumphs, even in violence, murder, killing. Dear students, thank you very much for participating in today's discussion. If you have got any questions about this short story, any confusions or suggestions, they are welcome. Till the next session, it is goodbye and Allah Hafiz from my side. Thank you very much again.